My name is Sophie Monsarrat. I did my PhD on biodiversity conservation, and then I did several years of research on the long-term impact of human activities on biodiversity and on ecosystems. And understanding what was lost really gave me an interest for trying to understand how to recover this and how to recover ecosystems that are more functional, and how to recover wild nature, and also how to bring back the animals that are missing in those environments. As rewilding manager in the central team, I'm overseeing our work on wildlife comeback and on natural grazing, which is the comeback of large herbivores to maintain semi-open areas. Yeah, so I think one of the main potential that rewilding is recognizing is that if we let nature lead, it can really lead its own recovery. Another potential is to include people. That's really important for Rewilding Europe. Rewilding it's a hopeful narrative, and it's getting a lot of traction, more and more traction over time. And it really holds huge potential for society as a nature-based solution to respond to environmental challenges that we're facing today, but also in the way it can support new types of nature-based economies and bring back some sense of pride for people that are living in more rural areas, and all set of wider benefits. So it's also a response to a major challenge we're facing, which is climate change and the biodiversity crisis. So that's a big potential. And finally, a big potential of rewilding is the capacity to upscale rewilding, because it doesn't all rely on human management. It can be upscaled over very large areas. At Rewilding Europe, we focus on very large landscapes, 200,000 hectares and more. And there's 5 million hectares of agricultural areas that are predicted to be effectively abandoned by 2030. So what do we do with this land that is no longer used for agriculture? And here rewilding could be a really nice opportunity. And another type of land use that's really interesting is protected areas. Just in the EU member states, you have 100 million hectares of protected areas of various forms. Rewilding is 20% about nature and 80% about people. While local communities are really central to our work in Rewilding Europe, starting with the fact that all of our local teams are part of the community. These are people that live and work in the landscapes, lots of them in the landscapes where they were born in. So this is an immediate impact of creating jobs in the local community. But beyond that, we have a lot of ways to integrate local communities in the way we, for example, promote coexistence with species that could be prone to conflict, such as large carnivores, bears. I think it'd be important to stop subsidies that are actually harming nature. So there is a new WWF report that just came out that shows that there was between 34 and 48 billion euros annually that were used to fund activities that actively harm nature. Most of it comes from the EU agricultural policy, but also from support to fisheries and transport, etc. So redirecting these subsidies could help close the financial gap that could help us meet the EU biodiversity goals. I think it's important to rely on a blended financial support, where it can be support that comes from commercial to philanthropic, from public to private, from restricted to unrestricted, so that everybody can actually join in on funding the rewilding movement. In the case where national funding is insufficient, I think philanthropy can also play a big role. I moved in the Netherlands 2 years ago to work for Rewilding Europe. And on my first weekend, I came in this general area. And what I saw that day was a herd of semi-wild horses running in the water next to families that were having a picnic, next to wind turbines. And, you know, I know that beavers, otters, and white-tailed eagle have come back here. And that is hugely inspiring, because if a country like the Netherlands, which is one of the most densely populated countries in Europe, can do it, I think we have no excuse to not doing in other places.